Are the San Francisco 49ers on the brink of a major shakeup? With the NFC West heating up, whispers are swirling about a potential game-changer that could reshape the landscape of our beloved team. As we watch rivals make bold moves, it's time to ask, can the 49ers rise to the challenge and secure their future? Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into the latest developments that could define our season. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to keep the 49ers' spirit alive. The signing of Davante Adams by the Rams is shaking up the NFC West, and as a passionate 49ers fan, I can't help but feel the weight of this move. On Sunday, the Rams inked the superstar wide receiver to a 2-year, $46 million contract, and it's hard to ignore the implications this has for our beloved 49ers. Honestly, this isn't just a signing, it's a statement. The Rams are going all in, and that raises serious questions about the direction of our team. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for the 49ers to have chased after Adams. We're faced with the reality of being one of the oldest teams in the league, and it's clear we need to pivot towards a younger, more cost-efficient roster. The past few seasons have been riddled with decisions that have left us in this predicament, and it's time for some tough love. But the stark contrast between the Rams' aggressive strategy and our current approach is hard to overlook. While they're building a powerhouse with arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league, Adams and Puka Nacua, we seem to be taking a step back. I can't help but feel a mix of frustration and concern. The Rams pushed the Eagles to their limits in the playoffs, and now they've added a game-changer, like Adams. With our big moves likely revolving around contract extensions for Brock Purdy and maybe George Kittle, it feels like we're treading the water while other teams are making waves. Are we really just going to sit back and watch as our division rivals strengthen their rosters? It's a tough pill to swallow, and I know I'm not alone in feeling this way. Let's be real. This offseason feels like it's shaping up to be more about managing finances than making bold strides forward. The 49ers are clearly in a reset mode, and while that might be a strategic necessity, it doesn't feel great. The prospects of competing for the division title or even making a Super Bowl run next season seem dim at best. It's hard to accept that we might be looking at a couple of years before we can realistically contend again, with 2026 as the target for a true resurgence. And here's where it gets personal for me. If we're taking this step back, shouldn't we be honest with ourselves and our fans? It's time to lower those ticket prices and have a candid conversation about where we stand. There's no point in selling hope that doesn't match the reality on the field. We need to brace ourselves for a season of development and recalibration, rather than expectations of immediate success. As I think about the future, I can't help but wonder, do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. Part of me understands the necessity of getting younger and more dynamic, but another part of me aches for the days when we could make bold moves and chase after the best talent out there. The emotional roller coaster of being a 49ers fan is real, and I know many of you feel the same way. So, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this reset strategy? Are you optimistic about our future, or are you feeling the same frustration? I am. I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's spark a conversation about what this means for our beloved 49ers and what we can realistically expect in the coming seasons. As we look ahead to the NFL draft and the future of our beloved San Francisco 49ers, the chatter surrounding Charvarius Ward's impending free agency is impossible to ignore. According to Michael Silver of The Athletic, there's a significant buzz about Ward attracting attention from several teams. Honestly, I'm not expecting him to return to the 49ers, and that leaves us with some big shoes to fill in the secondary. If we don't manage to secure a replacement through free agency, it seems the front office is gearing up to look towards the draft. In a recent mock draft by Mason Johnstone of the Draft Network, he predicted that the 49ers would use their 11th overall pick to select cornerback Will Johnson from Michigan. Now, I have to say, that's a tantalizing prospect. Johnson is a player who, despite battling injuries last season, has shown exceptional talent and skill on the field. Injuries limited him to just 6 games, but he still managed to rack up 14 tackles, 3 passes defended, and 2 interceptions, both of which he returned for touchdowns. That's the kind of playmaking ability we need in our secondary. Johnstone pointed out that Johnson's stock might have taken a hit due to those injuries, but make no mistake, he's one of the top 2 cornerbacks in this draft class. The 49ers certainly have other pressing needs, especially on the offensive and defensive lines, but passing on a talent like Johnson could be a mistake we regret. The value here is simply too good to overlook. When you look at Johnson's stats over his 3 seasons at Michigan, it's hard not to get excited. He totaled 68 tackles, 9 interceptions, and did not allow a single touchdown in his last 2 years. His coverage grade from Pro Football Focus has been consistently impressive, sitting above 76.7 in each season. That tells me he has the ability to lock down receivers and make plays when it counts. Can you imagine him lining up opposite Diomedor Lenoir? That could be a dynamic duo for years to come. The 49ers met with Johnson at the NFL Scouting Combine, where he measured in at 6'2" and 195 pounds. His size and athleticism make him an enticing option. And let's be honest, we all want a player who can step in and make an immediate impact. As we transition into the next phase of our franchise, solidifying our secondary is crucial, especially with the high-powered offenses we face in the NFC West. So, what does this mean for the fans? It means we are on the brink of potentially making a franchise-altering decision. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. While I understand the need to address other areas, I can't shake the feeling that investing in a top-tier cornerback could pay dividends down the road. We've seen how quickly the landscape of the NFL can change, and having a lockdown corner could elevate our defense to elite status. The stakes are high, and the excitement is palpable. It feels like we're standing at a crossroads, and I want to hear from you. How do you feel about the prospect of drafting Will Johnson? Are you confident in this direction, or do you have concerns? And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. As we gear up for the draft, remember that your voice matters. This is our team, and every decision impacts our journey toward that elusive 6th Super Bowl title. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest 49ers news, and make sure to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Let's keep the conversation going, Niners fans.